Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I thought I'd do a different type of style of watching me edit while I talk. So let me know in the comments what you like better, seeing it directly from the screen or just seeing kind of like a point of perspective outside the screen. So yeah, so let me know in the comment section which way you prefer. I kind of already started on this edit. I'm doing the cleanup, which is like a bit of the blemishes and stuff and whatnot. You could always be super detail orientated and zoom in all the way if you have a tablet or some sort and you can do all that kind of stuff, right? But you have to also remember like where exactly you're posting it, who's the client, what exactly are they using it for, etc., etc. So that kind of when you evaluate all those things, you kind of decide on what type of editing you're gonna be doing. Not to say like non-detail orientated editing is bad. Um, it just depends on who your client is, and sometimes both look good. It's just that one won't be like blown up on a billboard or some sort, and the other's just gonna go on like Instagram. So it's always important to kind of evaluate those things, but always do your best either way, so you don't have to worry about any of that. Oop, sorry for that. Hope that didn't mess things up. Sorry. Anyways, how's everybody doing during these troubling times? I myself have been dealing with a lot, to be honest, when it comes to the last 2 years. I mean, I think I've been kind of dealing with it a lot longer than that. I think a lot of people um, feel like defeated at times in life. But for me, I've been feeling defeated my whole entire life. So I've always struggled with like depression and heavy subject of taking one's life. Um, I've never publicly spoke about it. I made some very obscure posts in all my times on social media, but like never actually vocalized um, my thoughts here. You know, um, yeah, like I used to try to harm myself in many ways. It's a subject that I don't talk about often, and when I do, I feel like it's a very awkward conversation to have with people. It's a heavy topic, because you don't want people to feel awkward and ask you questions on why and why would you feel like that, and it's not something that intentionally you necessarily want to do, but when you feel this inadequacy, it drives you to these dark areas in your mind. How I usually would say I kind of like handle it back in the days, or handle it at all, was usually through um doing art, like graphic design, photography, and sometimes the very unnecessary thing of sex. You know, I use sex a lot to escape my depression and suicide, to my detriment of my relationships and stuff like that. But it was a way to escape from thinking about it so much. Um, I know a lot of people struggle with it. I've tried to get help, but I've always never felt comfortable talking to people about it, you know, especially a professional. I know they're just supposed to be the people you talk to about it, but I'd rather not. And then also at the same time, I don't want to be on some kind of medication of some sort. That's not really like something I'm looking to do. And I don't want to go into like these help classes that they do, because I generally don't feel like they help a lot. Um, what does help for me personally is the art part. You know, it is the art part, and being able to be outdoors, which goes into this kind of conversation. Not being able to go outdoors and or places just to sit and work, like a coffee shop or some sort, has kind of made me regress into this very dark place in my mind because of that. So, I mean, technically, because of the pandemic, we're still in lockdown. There's been a higher number of cases in Toronto, in the GTA in total. So they put us under another lockdown, and it just kind of it makes things, troubling for me, and I'm sure for a lot of people who are in the same circumstances myself. Because going outdoors is a way to sometimes handle the intrusive thoughts, the dark thoughts. Um, yeah, for me, it's been a lot worse. Even before the pandemic, because I was in a circumstance where I was being vilified to look like the villain in a situations in a certain situation, and um, you know, it wasn't the best, and people took it to the extreme, and you know, bullying online and all that kind of stuff. So it really messed with my mental health, and I never got a chance to kind of process it properly by, like, I don't know, like hanging out with my friends and going out and stuff, because, well, we ran into a pandemic and the virus came along and took everything away. So I had to find more creative ways of dealing with it, and just managing my mental health with being a little bit more open and talking to friends. Um, so it's been quite interesting discovering myself, actually. I feel like I've discovered myself a little bit, while opening up to people. I've always kind of always wanted to deal with it myself, because I never necessarily saw it as like a big issue compared to everybody else. But I know that it is an issue. So having to talk to people about it has been quite eye-opening, to be honest. You never realize that, like, a lot of people are on antidepressants and all types of medication, and dealing with similar issues as yourself. It does feel quite um, lonely when you don't talk to people. not to say that I didn't know those people dealing with it, but like I guess it's still a little bit jarring to hear that it's so close to home. You know, people that you care about and stuff. You know, dealing with the same things and whatnot. But like, I guess for the people who are not necessarily dealing with it or kind of still figuring it out, this they would be quiet in situations because you know they're still dealing with their own version of it. So you just kind of gotta find people who are in the same phase as you, I guess you would say, when you're dealing with situations like this. You know, um, well, it's been an interesting thing. I think it is. People think of suicide like it's like this thing where it's magically just disappears, or if you have friends around, it magically goes away. It really doesn't. It's like a constant thing where it's like peeking out every so often. But it's the thing I'm working on. It's a thing I'm definitely working on, and powering through. Still, sometimes in this city of Toronto, I'm still looked at as like this villain, this evil bad guy that needs to be taken down, and it sucks because that's not what I am. You know, that's not who I am, and it really sucks. But you cannot frame your thoughts around people that don't like you. You kind of just gotta work through it and make sure that you have people around that you can talk to. Yeah, because like they always say, be not everybody gonna like you. You know, not everybody's going to enjoy you or praise you and stuff like that. You can be the best of the best of people and you try your hardest, but like not everybody's gonna like you. And sometimes it's not even you, you know. Sometimes it's based on um, themselves. So that's something they gotta deal with. Oh yeah. I mean, look at this edit. It's a good edit. It's a good edit. Oh, my eyelashes are always like poking my eyeballs. All right. I mean, let's take a look how the dodging and the burning and the dodging looking. I mean, it looks good, pretty good. It's hard to be in the public eye because people are always literally trying to box you in at every point, every chance they can, to be all types of things. Either you're the bad guy, or you're one type of way photographer, or you're, everything. It's like, I get it, humans box things in categories because we're very um what do you call it, very group orientated species. Like we thrive when we're in a tribe, basically. And when you don't have a category you fit in, um people don't know what to do with you, or how to, place you in certain places. So they will categorize you as all types of things, either the bad guy, um if you are a person that, your sexual orientation doesn't really define who you are, the category is either gay or whatever, all these kind of things, like, people try to do, just to place you in a box so they can kind of figure you out. But I guess, like, you got to, as a person, understand that you don't have to fit into those boxes. That's them. If they want to put you in a box, that's cool. That's on you guys. I am definitely not defined by your definitions. Like, you could shove that up your butt. That's I'm not who you want me to be. If how you see me is how you see me, that's how you see me. I'm not going to spend my time trying to change that. If I'm the bad guy, I'm the bad guy. If I'm the good guy, I'm the good guy. If I'm your friend, I'm your friend. If I'm not, I'm not. That's, your categories of where you want to put me, but doesn't necessarily make it fact. You're not the end all be all to the definition. Even when there are others who all have the same opinion about somebody, does not mean it's the exact person. Like, it doesn't make the person, it doesn't define the person, you know I've always watched, like, shows, um like, when you watch, like, animated shows where it's clearly defined that that's the bad guy and that's the good guy. My always question is, like, how did he get to this point? Like, you want to see people want to see the origin of the bad guy, right? How did he become what he is? Why did he choose this path? You know? I feel like a lot of good stories usually, when they do it that way, when they handle that kind of situation with the origin of the villain, sort of say, like, that's when people feel a little different about the villain. They're like, oh, he's not so bad and all this stuff. But, like, you framed him as that, though, in your head already, without even knowing it. Do people ever think about why they do that? Like, and it's crazy to me that people do that, because at the same time, they themselves don't want to be um, defined by their actions. You know, but they're ready to place define others on their actions. It's the craziest thing. Recently, I had a discussion with my significant other and her mother about uh, technically we were talking about how women of modern day women, as a lot of people like to call them, ask for all these things, and and their quest for these things don't they themselves don't have it, right? They themselves have also other things about themselves that other people wouldn't want, and I agree, yes, and to some extent, yes, the modern day women do that, but like, so do the modern day men. You know, there's a lot of modern day men who don't also do certain things, which is very true, and I think both sides have uh, faults, and I just feel like people love going back and forth with each other on who's doing right and who's doing this and who's doing that. And it just feels like, don't you guys both realize that you both have issues? And maybe trying to talk to each other in a certain way where you both realize that you both have issues would probably be more beneficial than pointing fingers and trying to attack each other at every corner. And I feel like with the growth of social media, the gap of like gender wars has grown so much. Shit, like, forget gender wars, even just race wars in general. Everything is just, it's hyper, like, intensified a thousand bits because of social media and media in general fueling these divisions. And because people like to equate their situation to everything, to what happens to somebody else, people people tend to draw a line in the sand and choose a side. Speaking of which, I was watching a couple of the YouTubers by name of Abba and Preach. They recently uploaded a video talking about um, your memories, right? Like, memories of things that you may think happened but really didn't happen, and why um, witness testimonies are not 100% and cannot are not all the time liable in court. Because if you go watch the video. Um, I'll try to put the link in the bio. Um, but just if I don't, just, and you don't see it in the link in the bio, just look up on YouTube Abba and Preach. That's ABA and then and Preach. Exactly how it sounds. There, look at the most recent videos about memory. Right, there are social commentary YouTubers who commented on the video talking about um, humans' memories and why humans remember certain things. Like, everybody, for example, everybody remembers being lost in a mall, but apparently you find out that a lot of people who think they got lost in a mall or lost in some sort of retail store, they were never actually lost when you talk to family members and stuff like that. But even the family members accounts of the situation is not always 100%. And that's the craziest thing. So people's reality is based on what exactly? Like, how can we really believe what's happened to us? And I think that has a lot to do with the way you feel about a situation, and combining it with the way all these things. Sorry about that noise. My furnace has turned on. They like to do that when I'm working for some reason. But I think I'll end the video here so it doesn't get too loud and stuff. But thank you guys for watching. You'll see this picture posted, and you'll see the model's tag and stuff on Instagram. So look out for that. All right. Thank you so much, and have yourself a nice day.